What's up, y'all? This is your girl, Lady J, back at it again with another Life Hack 101 video. So, today's episode, we are in part 2 of our budgeting series. There will be 3 parts of this. So, if you haven't seen part 1, go ahead and peek back at budgeting part 1 in the Life Hack 101 series. And that just basically goes into how to get all of your budget for, the month or, a certain time period, how to, add up everything that you're basically getting in your income and what you're spending. Today's part is going to focus on how to budget based on your pay scale. Okay, so whether you're getting paid weekly, bi-weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, bi-yearly or yearly, we are going to actually hammer down on how to make payments to your expenditures based on your time scale. And like you learned on the last budgeting one-on-one hack, basically pay your bills when you get paid. So this life hack video is going to tell you exactly how to pay your bills when you get paid. And as always, we're going to give you another life hack tip and trick at the end of this video. Okay, so stay with me while we're going to go over our intermediate part 2 budgeting series. Here we go. All right, so again, what is a budget? Why is a budget important? How we're going to do our budget based on how we're paid. This is part 2. And then we're going to hit you with the budget life hack. All right, so again, what is a budget? A budget is an estimate of your income and your expenditure for a set period of time. Budgets are like a diet. All right, so think about a budget just like you eat, right? You consume food. You might not be on a budget per se, like a Atkins or some of those other name type diets where they might have you eating a certain food or a certain thing or whatever. Listen, if you already spend money and make money, guess what? You're already on a budget. Okay, so what we're going to look at is in this part, how do we take what we're making and based on what we're getting paid to actually pay out? This is part 2. So if at any point in time you're like, what the heck is Lady J talking about? Go ahead and refer back to part 1 of this series. All right. So now, if you have done part 1, or if you already know how to do a simple budget, you already know basically per month what you're getting paid, right? So you have certain expenditures. You have housing expenditures, like a rent, which might be $1,000, right? And we're gonna kind of speed past all of this because we covered all this in part 1. You might have a cell phone bill, which might equal out to $75. You might have utilities. Move this over, make it look cute. Okay, and I put the line here, so if you're following along, go ahead and grab a line sheet of paper. Utilities. Okay, and if you live in Michigan like me, your utilities, they do fluctuate. All right, so take an estimate on if you were to combine all your utilities over the year, what that would equate to. So let's just say maybe $125. Clearly, $125. Okay. And what else am I forgetting? Food. Okay. So all of those things that you might have to take out of your given paycheck. Okay, so you're going to add up all of your expenditures. Okay, so I didn't say things like gas and everything like that, but if you really want to itemize idea what your budget should look like, please go back to part 1 of our budgeting series. All right, so let's say for instance We're going to go ahead and total up all of these. $75, 125 for utilities, 125 for food. And I know, don't hammer me, I know I'm missing probably a heck of a lot, like your insurances and things like that, but this is just an estimate video. Okay, so we're gonna say our total budget, our total expenditures actually is $13.25. Okay, so this is what we are expected to pay in a month. Okay, let me make that smaller. Okay, total expenditures. Now, here's a problem that most of us face. Your rent is due on the 1st. Your car note might be due on the latter end of the month. Your cell phone might be due on the 15th, and so forth like that. So I know a lot of us might get paid in a month 2 times out of the month. All right, whether we're getting paid bi-weekly, that means every other week, or we're getting paid at the first and like the middle of the month, or some of us even get paid once a month. I know for some of our retirees that only get one check, and so they only can pay once a month. This is for you. Okay, this is for us, so that we never, ever, ever get another late fee again. And so the next thing that you want to do is take into account your payday. So if you get paid, let's just take a bi-weekly. Let's say you get paid on the 5th. Now this is May, and we're going to take the 5th. Help if I wrote the right month. That means that I'm getting paid every other week on that date. Okay, so that means that my next pay date will be May 19th. So I'm going to write another column for May 19th. Okay, now what you want to do is then go back to your list of expenditures and find out when you're getting billed for those dates. So I know my rent is due 1st of the month. Okay, my phone is due, maybe Verizon wants it on the 15th of the month. Utilities like your gas and your lights, maybe they want that on the 7th of the month. And your food, now most of us don't buy food monthly, but so if you were going to, get your food, cost your groceries and things like that, maybe you would want to buy your food once you get paid, so then that would equal out to whatever your pay period is, which would be bi-weekly, bi-monthly, monthly, whatever that is. Okay, so then you would do this for every single expenditure that you have. Okay, now that you figured out when you get paid, or when the bills are due. Now, if you don't know when your bills are due, that's a problem. If you get a bill in the mail and it says your bill is here, but it's due by, you might want to give your the place a call and say, hey, when is my bill actually due? Because there is what we call a grace period, right? They might give you 5 days. Some people might even give you 10 days. Okay, so you want to know exactly when that bill is due, because you don't want to incur late fees. That's the name of the game. And payday is payday. So when you get paid, the idea is to pay them. Okay, even if that billing date doesn't match up to their billing date. And I'm going to show you why. Okay, so let's say we figured out in part 1 of our budgeting series that we get paid bi-weekly. We might get paid $1,000. right? Okay. Now, we get paid on this other biweekly period $1,000. So how much are we making monthly? $2,000. So we will put that down. Monthly income equals $2,000. Okay. So May 5th, I'm getting paid $1,000. I know it's in my check because I have direct deposit, things like that. Okay, this is my income. This is my paycheck. Paycheck 1. So I'm going to put paycheck. It would help if, I could. Oh. Paycheck. Okay. We talked about if you had a side hustle. If you have another side hustle, you could put that in here as well. But I'm just going to put that here. Paycheck. Okay. Now, here's where you start to figure out what can you pay when. Now, I know my rent is $1,000. Okay. Now, I'm only getting paid $1,000 for this week. So, if I know, and let's just assume by the time I've started this exercise, I've already paid May's rent. I paid May's rent. So really, I'm looking at June. Okay. So now I actually have to pay June's rent, half of May. So I'm going to pay $500 here. And I actually need to pay $500 on May 15th. Okay. Now, do I send this payment in? No, I don't. I'm paying myself. Okay. So I know that now on May 5th, what should I have left? After I've paid $500 to rent, I should have $500 left. Okay. Now I have phone that is due on the 15th of the month. Which paycheck do I use to pay the phone bill? Well, naturally, I would pay the phone bill on the May 19th bill. Now, I know what you're saying, Jay, that's 4 days after the due date. Yes, it is. But did you know that you can actually call your phone company and say, hey, that's just not going to work for me. I'd like for you to move my payment date up or back a few days. They will say, sure, absolutely. You'd like your new payment date to be whatever, and that's what it will be. So I am actually going to pay my phone bill, the $75. I'm going to pay it on the check for the 15th. Okay. Cell phone. Bam. Okay. Now, I'm going to go and say, okay, what else is left? Food. I'm doing that bi-weekly. Okay. That means that I am basically spending $250 a month. So I'm going to take out $125 here. Food. And I'm going to take out $125 here. I cannot type. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is subtract all of that and see per month what we have left over. So we're looking at May 5th. Okay. So we're looking at May 5th. Let's look at this. And let's see what we have left over. So we got paid $1,000 for that bi-weekly check. We are taking out the $500 in rent. We are taking out $125 in food costs. We have $375 left over. Okay. equals $375 left over. Okay. Then we're going to do the same thing for our other payment. Let's make that blue. Okay. So then we're going to take our 1,000, subtract from 500 in rent, 75 on the cell phone, and 125 in food. And we are $300 left over. Okay. Now, totaling everything together, and let me just circle this. Okay. Totaling everything together, and let me write this again because some kind of way magically it went away. 300 left over. If I was to add all that up, that would be $675 left. Now, again, of course, I'm going to have the critics that say, hey, you didn't add up, all your utilities and all of your expenditures in terms of like your insurance and things like that. Again, we're just doing a broad spectrum of, what it could be. Okay. So let me put this here. So we have $675 in excess. Now, this money could be what I lovingly call play money. Okay. This is the money that you have left over after everything is said and done. All of your bills are paid. And actually, if you stay on your pay scale and you continuously pay bills prior to the date, because remember, we're paying our rent ahead of time. We're paying our bills basically ahead of time. And we're going to negotiate with our phone company when we're actually paying the bill. So, even though we're getting paid on the 19th and we're paying the bill and the bill was due on the 15th, I've already called the company and said, hey, maybe, is it okay if I pay my cell phone bill on the 25th? Okay. And they're going to say, absolutely. So now we're not into a late fee situation. We've renegotiated our payment terms and everything like that. So that's a life hack. Number one, if your payment dates are not in accordance with your paycheck dates, call and ask them to change it. Because at the end of the day, all they want is your money. Okay. So in our next part, what we're going to do is look at actually what to do with the excess, because in part one of our budget, you should have accounted for everything that you actually want to spend your money on. That includes your entertainment, your out-of-pocket expenses, like if you smoke, if you drink, if you play the lottery, all those things should have been included in that. This is just a short form because I didn't want to have to go through all of that. But if you went through part one, or if you know how to do your own budget, then you should have those line items and take into account those line items, and then take into account when you get paid, and then look at the due dates of your bills, and then see what dates that you can put what with what. And the idea is not to have everything stacked on one paycheck, because you got to live in between those paychecks, and you have to have enough money for your savings in between all of that. Okay. So that is leading me to my next point, which would be, you need to make sure that you have enough money for your savings. If you don't have enough money for your savings, then you are not life hacking. Okay. So life hacking does not say, okay, at the end of your budget, you should have $0 in excess, even though you went to the club, you traveled to Hawaii and everything was paid for and whatever, poof, there's nothing left. You should have something left for yourself in retirement. So our next part 3 is going to talk about how we can do all of this automotively. That is so wrong. Automatically, that it will calculate. We don't have to get the calculator. We don't have to get the scrap sheets of paper. I will actually show you the way to do this the digital way, where it will actually calculate exactly what we're paying to exactly the amount of money that we're making. Some of us don't make a salary. Some of us are wage, and it can differentiate between, you know, week to week or month to month, exactly what we're making. So part 3 is actually going to be really impactful for those that, you know, work hourly and maybe make different, you know, paychecks from term to term. All right. And then I'm going to show you another life hack 101. So if you want to take this a little step further and you're saying, okay, Jay, I see everything that you're saying, maybe I want to take this a little bit further, then that's what you do. So to recap, the life hack 101 takeaway is that most services will gladly renegotiate the payment date for, you know, when bills are due, because they want you to pay your bill. They want the money. That's the end of the day. So, you know, if they say they can't, ask to speak to a manager, and they absolutely will. All right. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. And again, thank you guys for attending another Life Hack 101 video. And if you like what you saw today, go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys back later for another one. Peace. Hey guys, thanks for watching another great Life Hack 101 video. If you liked what you saw today, please click the like button. And to get even more great content from Life Hack 101, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. See you next hack.